And now, That Financial Guy Show with Keith Wilson.
Hey, look, Roth IRAs have become a very popular way to save for retirement, mainly because they offer tax-free growth in the account and tax-free withdrawals as long as you follow certain rules. So if you don't follow these rules, you could really mess up your plans when it comes time to withdraw from the Roth. That's where the 5-year rule comes into play. So let's dive into this 5-year rule and how it works. But before we do, if this is your first time here, my name is Keith Wilson, and I'm a practicing financial advisor helping folks along their personal finance journey, right? Listen, if you find this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. All right. First, let's talk about contributions going into a Roth. There are maximums. You can contribute a maximum amount of $6,000 in 2022 and $6,500 in 2023. And if you're over 50, you can contribute an additional $1,000, which is called the catch-up provision. Now, you will not get a tax deduction on the amount you contribute, but there on out, that account is growing tax-free. There are income limits in order to be eligible to contribute to a Roth. So if you're married filing jointly and you're making between $204,000 and $214,000, it's phased out. And for single taxpayers, if your contributions are going to be phased out between $129,000 and $144,000. Anything over those amounts that you make, you are not eligible to contribute anything to a Roth. Now, these income limits that I just mentioned, those are for 2022, and they usually adjust that upward each year. Now, those are the contribution rules. Here is the 5-year rule. In order for withdrawals of the earnings to be tax-free and avoid a 10% penalty, you must have held the Roth account for 5 years and be over 59 and a half. Now that clock, that 5-year clock, starts ticking on January 1 of the tax year you made that first contribution. So you could make a contribution in December of 2022, for example, and the clock would start ticking on January 1, 2022. Now, the 5-year rule also starts only with your first contribution. Not every year you make a contribution. Now, with Roth conversions, that's different, and each conversion carries its own 5-year rule. But with this video, we are really concentrating on contributions and not conversions. Now, here's the thing you need to know. Anyone at any age can pull out their contributions at any time without a 10% penalty or taxes. You see, withdrawals from a Roth are treated as contributions coming out first and earnings coming out last. And the penalties and taxes, they only come into play if you're withdrawing earnings from the account before 59 and a half and you haven't had it for 5 years. Now, there are ways to avoid the 10% penalty, but not the taxes on earnings withdrawn if you are under 59 and a half and you've had it for less than 5 years. Let's look at those. Those exceptions are, you use the withdrawal to pay for a first-time home purchase. Now, that's up to a $10,000 lifetime maximum. You use the withdrawal to pay for qualified education expenses, such as tuition, cost of books, supplies, equipment, disability services, as well as room and board. Also, to avoid that 10% penalty, but not the taxes, you use the withdrawal for qualified expenses related to a birth or adoption. Another one, you become disabled or pass away. Or you use the withdrawal to pay for unreimbursed medical expenses or health insurance if you're unemployed. Another one is the distribution is made in substantially equal periodic payments. All right, let's look at this situation. If you've had the Roth for more than 5 years and you're under 59 and a half, then you can withdraw the earnings. They will not be subject to taxes or penalty only if you use the withdrawal to pay for first-time home purchase, or you become disabled, or you pass away. But if you are over 59 and a half, you haven't met the 5-year holding period, then your earnings withdrawn will be subject to taxes, but not the penalties for any reason. If you're over 59 and a half and have held the Roth for 5 years, then voila, there is no tax or penalties on withdrawals, both contributions and earnings. Also, here's another thing. Unlike traditional IRAs, there's no required minimum distribution from a Roth. So here you can see Roth IRAs. They can be a great retirement savings tool, but you need to consider these rules before opening the account. And if you would like to know if a Roth is right for you, hey, you may look up my contact information. It's in the description below, where you can get in touch with me personally to discuss your particular situation. Now, take care until we see you again.